we will be doing that with the industry. We'll be taking rules out, the things that we're doing, and the rules that we have, working with the operators in this business, with the people in this business, to educate them on what compliance means and how the rules are going to be put into place. It's not an overnight. You go from one day from non-compliant to that's bullshit. To this rulemaking where there's rules where we come in and try to find things wrong. We are there to educate through the process to make sure that everyone knows what compliance means, how it is when you get a compliance inspection, going through the cameras, going through those things, making sure that the angles and the other things that are in the rules are correct, and then working with you to make sure that the areas of compliance are in there, giving you time to work through those if they're not correct, working and trying to make them work. Does that mean that you can be non-compliant and every time we come in have the same issue? No. It means that we have progressive enforcement, we educate, we have progressive enforcement and progressive kind of moving towards that to try to bring you into compliance. After that, there's a certain point in time where some people just probably won't follow the rules, and that's when we work through on the enforcement side. But this is new industry for us. It's a new industry for you with the rules, and we hope that as we go forward, those things and those people that are working with you, and you see them and become acquainted with the people that come to your door, whether they're auditors or investigators, or just interaction with our licensing folks at our offices, that you're able to ask questions, you're able to understand, or if you don't understand, to get the answer to how you become compliant. I've had many of those questions on the phone, many of them in email, and hopefully we've tried to get people on the road to compliance and make things work that way. The other thing that's coming down the road for center owners and just for employees in general, sometime here, probably around April, we'll begin the process of licensing employees. Those employees, and I think initially we'll have most of that employee licensing at our temporary office in Commerce City. It's big enough to handle it. There's enough area to handle if we have a large crowd one day or a lot of people coming in. Or a lot of dogs. So as we move through those things and do that, but the licensing process, the systems that we do to do those, the backgrounds we do, we hope that the process will be in and out. It'll probably take 1 to 2 hours to get a license as folks go through the background. We hope if someone comes in without a lot of issues, and they have their applications correct, and we don't have to go through a lot of things, we can get them in, we can run the background, all the other checks that we need to do, and then move forward and have them out the door with a license before they're done, instead of having to come back. Certainly there will be people that don't come in with all the right stuff, try to make all those things that they need to bring in, at least on the list, and know what they have to have. But if they don't have everything and they can't get them all done in one day, then they may have to come back. But our goal is to get them in and out in that same trip. We are, because of some of the things that are in 1043 and the residency requirements and some of those things on the employee themselves, that's kind of that'll drive a little bit of when we start the licensing process match what's in 1043 for the employee. I think that probably concludes where we are, and hopefully brings you up to date into what we're doing. I think the panel probably up or ready, but that's what I've got. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't sit down.
Okay, if you have any questions, we're going to have you line up behind the mic here. And again, let's try to keep the questions one person. I'd also like to thank our special guests tonight, Frank Billard and Carl Domino with BioTrack THC. They're somewhere in here. I thank you guys for being here. They're going to be launching their end-to-end software system, which has a biometric component later on this month, and they've been major sponsors for MMBA in the past, so we do appreciate that.
Whoever gets the most questions is going to buy a round for everyone here.
With benefits, I'm sure.
Chloe, if you don't mind helping me out to keep these questions to a minimum. One question.
Going to be a two-part question.
If you can make it into one question, yeah. Just one question.
Hello? There you go.
All right, go ahead, Frank.
This question is for Dan. Dan, the laws that they passed for growing 70% of your product, I think is a great law. And in all the rulemaking and law passing, I think that's a good one. However, they passed that law and they awarded us permits to grow in specific buildings. They plant husbandry permits to be specific. Thank you. Okay, so here's the deal. So some people went out and rented their properties and solidified their business, requirements by doing that. Other people went out and purchased their properties and said, I don't want a landlord controlling my destiny. So I'm one of the 52 buildings on the chopping block for controlling my own destiny to purchase this building and grow in that facility. So we did that, and now my building is one of the 52. So here's my question, and part one of it is, do you know if the 2-year proposal in 1043 is starting when the plant husbandry permit was submitted, or when the law is passed? Okay, when does the 2-year clock start? And then after the 2 years, do you feel that that is fair, that someone devoted all this money to purchase a building and then have it taken away?
Who wants to take that?
That was directed towards Dan. Good job. Good question.
You had a bunch of stuff in there, and I guess one of the things is the revised. I think it's a proposed moratorium extension in 1043. Is that correct?
No, actually, when does the clock start ticking on the 2-year where you have to be up for review to whether that building under the new zoning rules now makes your building?
That would be a localized.
I was going to wonder, can anybody? I don't know the Denver city ordinance.
That's in 1043. That's in 1043, I believe.
No, that's the Denver ordinance.
1009 or 1009.
Then, okay, my mistake.
Second reading on Tuesday. JJ is actually.
We
Hey, scratch that. My mistake.
So that's.
we can't hear him. We can't hear
Can
him.
you do anything with that question, or do we have to deal with Denver on that?
No, it's a state bill. He doesn't answer any questions.
Hi guys, my name is Neil.
It's
I'm
ridiculous.
the owner of CanaStaff, which provides staffing services for the whole value chain of this industry, specifically for this industry. And Dan, this is a question for you, specifically around the licensing of the employees. I've talked to your colleagues and they told me most likely we'll be doing when we have our company licensed, our employees will be considered support employees. And I'm more wondering about when it comes down to the temp employees, such as a trimmer, who may be going back and forth between different clients 1 week because of just different harvest schedules. are those employees who want to submit a new application for each location they're going to be working at, or is there going to be a way to make it easy on both ourselves and you guys for those individuals?
The short answer is no, they don't have to have an application for each place they go. What you will have to do, I mean, there's some requirements in there, but once an employee is licensed, and they haven't done anything, that license comes up for review or something like that. But if they're a licensee in good standing, they can move from employer to employer. I mean, that's how they can go. As we work on the staffing, the other requirement is that places that have people working for them, they have to let us know their employees that they have on staff when they come to work, and then they have to let us know when they terminate that employment. I think what we're going to have to do is there's been a couple of staffing groups that came up. We're going to have to figure out a way that maybe that becomes a little bit easier to report. But for right now, what I would say is that the reporting requirement is if they come to you, if you're putting them in the center for a period of time, or you're putting them there to trim for a period of time, that the center will have the requirement to at least update their list of who's working there at the time, and then when they leave to go somewhere else, they can do that too. If they're working in two different places, maybe they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays they're trimming at one place and doing something at another place. I don't know, or they're working part time at a center and then they go somewhere else to trim because they're working for you. They would be able to be on both lists. The law just requires that they register where they're at.
Would we have the ability to maybe do a power of attorney with those centers and provide that service to do
We
the
only have
reporting
one
on their
question.
behalf?
That's my job to regulate.
Like I said, we've got a couple of places that, or a few people that are thinking about doing the employment business or the temp agency kind of thing. We haven't addressed it, but as we get into those policy questions, we'll try to do so. I mean, we'll look at what we can do to make it more efficient. But right now, it's the center that would have to, or the person that's employed that they're working at, that would have to let us know.
Great, thank you.
Okay, Ned, one question.
Hi, Dan. My name's Tony Ibarra, and it's a two-part question. because you're talking about...
I mean, I get to pick which part?
This is the first part. I heard somebody say that the state is relaxing the regulations that are going to be occurring. The first part is that if they are going to relax the regulation, when will the state allow the banks to start accepting medical marijuana accounts?
Thank you.
Secondly, because when I see a lot of these owners out here, they call themselves the Green Door Wellness Center, and when the bank asks, what are you doing? Most of them are having the fib and saying, well, we're selling herbs. But when you tell them the truth, they're not going to allow you to open up an account. The second question is in regards to the security requirements that I understand are being relaxed some. Are you still going to require the registry and their ID and their face taken and have that recorded?
You know, like my either answer. The answer to your first question is, I think there's some mechanisms in 1043 that would allow for more funding and different funding mechanisms to occur within the state of Colorado. We obviously